welcome to Fred Gives Flowers. And today we are giving flowers to a legend, a GOAT of cinema, Mr.
Denzel.
Denzel
Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. The reason why I wanted to become an actor, man. Like, Denzel, I don't even need to explain to you why he's the GOAT. If you've seen any of his movies, you know why Denzel is the GOAT. He's done over 53 movies. And each time I walk out of the movie theater just floored at what Denzel does. Denzel's produced over 6 movies. He's been in 5 Broadway shows and he's directed 5 movies. You know, speaking of Broadway shows, I was so happy because I got to attend one of those Broadway shows that he was in. And he was in one of my favorite plays of all time. It was like one of the second plays I read when I knew I wanted to become an actor. He was, in 2014, Denzel Washington was in A Raisin in the Sun, and I still have the playbill. Man, he was so phenomenal. Samuel L. Jackson's wife was in this. Anika Noni Rose. The cast was amazing. The show was amazing. Denzel was amazing. You know what I'm saying? I just love who Denzel is on screen and as a person who he is off screen. His love for God, his love for his family, and his love for the craft. Denzel don't never half step. Every single role he's in, he gives 110%. I've never ever walked out of a Denzel movie myself and been like, man, he cheated me. I ain't never coming to see Denzel again. Never in my life. I mean, sometimes I walk out and I'm like, how can I do that? Like, is there any way that I could just capture the essence of that? The first movie I ever saw Denzel in, can you guess what it is? Was Glory. And when I saw Glory, from that moment, I knew there was like something different about Denzel. Like, he had a way of just capturing your attention and making you focus in on him. There was this scene in the movie, if you've seen Glory, you know what I'm talking about, where he is getting hit by the captain. The guy that's over him, the platoon sergeant, I believe it is, who's played by, I think it's Matthew Broderick. He's whipping him for disobeying. And Denzel just starts crying. And it's just one tear that goes down his face. And with that one tear, he says so much, man. Like, and I'm like, if I can just do that just a little bit, if I can just capture a glimpse of that, like, I would be good. You know what I'm saying? To captivate people's attention in that manner, man. Denzel is phenomenal. And, you know, with that being said, I love Denzel's movies. Some of my favorite quotables, if I have to think about some of my favorite quotables from his movies, I probably can only think of like 3 right now. I say the first quotable I would have to say would be from Malcolm X. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Next quotable would probably be from John Q. I'm not gonna bury my son. My son is gonna bury me. Last quotable, which y'all probably have guessed, would be from the movie Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. And when I was having conversations with my friends this week, and I was like, I was asking them, what are your top 5 Denzel movies of all time? And it was hard. It was a hard answer. You may get 2 movies, but then when you get to those last 3, it's really hard because Denzel has created so much cinematic magic that you can't really narrow it down. It's just so many movies and so much amazing, talented, brilliant work. It was hard for me to narrow it down, but here's my top 5 Denzel movies of all time. Now, there was a lot of thought put into this, a lot of time spent, a lot of long hours, a lot of homework being done, a lot of me standing by it and guaranteeing it, like Denzel in every single movie. He gotta guarantee something. He gotta do the hand movement. He's always doing the hand movement, and he always knocking something up. Like Denzel's like always knocking something over in a movie too. He always gotta knock something off the table. Not always. But here's my top 5 Denzel movies. All right, first up it came out in 1990, Mo Better Blues. This was a Spike Lee joint. Reason I love Mo Better Blues at number 1 was when I saw that movie, I was so taken back just by the cast. Wesley Snipes, John Turturro, Samuel L. Jackson, Joel Lee, which is Spike Lee's sister. Like the whole movie in and of itself, and of course, Mr. Wesley Snipes. And that was, you had Denzel in his prime and Wesley Snipes in his prime. Like in the 90s. Like it was the drama, it was the jazz, music, the character. I believe the name of Denzel's character was Bleak Gilliam. And the way that he learned how to play the trumpet, he was encapsulated. I believed every part of that character, the colors in the movie. I loved everything that Spike did. It was, to me, literally the perfect movie. It was about love. It was about disappointment. It was a great movie. So Mo Better Blues at number 1. So if you've never seen Mo Better Blues with Denzel Washington, go see that. Movie number 2, coming in at number 2. Another Spike Lee joint, Malcolm X in 1992 by Spike Lee. Malcolm X is just self-explanatory. This was one of the roles that he had after he did Mo Better Blues, and he just really embodied Malcolm X. Anybody that has seen Malcolm X, you know what I'm talking about. He bodied Malcolm X. To this day, I'll be still looking at Denzel sometimes. I'm like, deep down, I know he kind of Malcolm X. I know he Malcolm X. Like, I'm like, he played that too good. Like, when I was watching the interviews of him talking about Malcolm X, it was just so fascinating. Like, Spike said he told him cut, and Denzel still kept going with the speeches as if he was Malcolm X. He lost himself in this person who at one time existed. And he gave so much honor to Malcolm X's legacy and name with the movie. Coming in at number 3, came out in 1989. The director was Edward Zwick. And this is Glory, of course. The first movie I ever seen by Denzel. Reason being, the performance. And of course, you don't have to take my word for it. He won an Oscar for it. Best Supporting Actor. The cast was off the hinges. You had Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick, Denzel was in it. There was a lot of people that got their start from that movie. You know what I'm saying? Denzel got the Oscar. That performance was just beyond anything else. He gave so much pride and dignity to the character that he was playing. And of course, the get your hands off me. Like, I love that moment. Coming in at number 4, 1999, movie by Norman Jewison, who was the director, was The Hurricane. Of course, he's playing the boxer, Reuben Carter, who was wrongfully incarcerated. This movie, I don't even know what to say about it. It combines 2 of my favorite loves, boxing and, of course, acting and deep drama. I can't even put this movie into words. Like, I felt like I was just crying throughout this whole movie because it was just so, watching this story, and I'm really a true crime head, and just to see him go through that story, like Reuben Carter's story, everything he had to go through being wrongfully persecuted and then being exonerated eventually. Man, it was just such and so many quotables. Hate put me in here, but love is gonna break me out. I was like, Denzel. Like, why are you this good? You know what I'm saying? And then coming in at number 5, my last movie, directed by Mr. Antoine Fuqua. of course, y'all already know what it is, 2001, Training Day. I would have, it was hard because Training Day is here, and I have American Gangster up there with Training Day. It's like right on the same kind of wavelength. Like, I was racking my brain. But when I think about what Training Day was and how despicable the character he was, man, I've never seen Denzel play something so on the money. Like as that character, and how despicable he was to Ethan Hawke's character. How we went on this journey. It was like a ride of like him showing you how really despicable this guy is, and how he don't care who you are. He'll turn his back on you. He'll do this. He'll do that. He will do anything. I remember I heard an interview. Originally, they wanted the character that Denzel was playing in Training Day to live. But when Denzel actually said, he wrote on the script, scripture, for the wages of sin is death. And he told them, and he fought for this character has to die. He cannot do all of this craziness to people, betraying people, going here, going there, going everywhere, and not reap what he sowed. You know, he cannot do all this craziness and not reap what he sowed. You know, so that's my top 5. Feel free to debate me in the comments. If you feel different, put it in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel. Now, with that being said, with all of Denzel's movies and his great body of work, I had to create a sleeper list. A sleeper list of movies that people don't mention as much as the ones I listed. The ones I listed get mentioned a lot, right? Probably Mo Better Blues not so much, but they get mentioned a lot and they get quoted a lot. They get referenced a lot. But I have my top 5 sleeper movies of Denzel's. And here they are. Number 1 is Fallen. It came out in 1998. If you haven't seen it, definitely see Fallen. It was where he played a detective. John Goodman was in it as well. He plays a detective, and it has kind of like a spiritual kind of creepy kind of twist to it, where there's this convict, this dude that they apprehend him, and John Goodman's character, they apprehend him, and he gets sent to death row, and something else happens from there. I don't want to ruin it for you, but Fallen at number 1. Coming in at number 2 is Safe House. That came out in 2012. And it was him and Ryan Reynolds. And this movie doesn't get talked about enough, where he's this most wanted man, Tobin Frost, on the run from the law. And he's just getting away with stuff. He's just out here getting away with stuff. And Ryan Reynolds is sent in as an agent to go apprehend him. The performance that Denzel put in this movie was truly phenomenal. If you have not seen Safe House, sit down, get some popcorn, and watch Safe House. You know what I'm saying? Coming in at number 3 is Deja Vu, that came out in 2006. This is a movie with him and Paula Patton. This is definitely a sleeper movie. If you blinked, you probably missed this movie. No lie. Because it was one of those movies where the concept of it was kind of weird. You know, you didn't know where it was going. It came out at the same time as another movie that's around the sleeper list. But it was really good. Really, really, really good stuff. And it's this whole fantasy thing where he's a cop and he's investigating this murder, but it happens like in the past. Just see the movie. If you like Minority Report, you will love Deja Vu. Coming in at number 4 is Devil in the Blue Dress, and it came out in 1995, and it starred him and Don Cheadle was in it as well. The reason this movie is so great is because the book was written by a black man named Walter Mosley. And it's like a true crime murder mystery. How did this woman get killed? Did she get killed? Who she get killed by? What happened? You know what I'm saying? If you haven't seen Devil in the Blue Dress, definitely recommend. Number 5 came out the year after that in 1996. And a lot of people don't talk about this enough. This movie comes on during the holidays, is The Preacher's Wife. I really love Denzel in this movie. He played this role so good. He played this role so good. I thought him and Whitney Houston was together. I swear, you couldn't tell me nothing. When I saw Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard after that, I was like, wait, why she with Kevin Costner? Ain't she supposed to be with Denzel? Like, they played this movie so good. And the crazy part is, in the movie, she is married to Courtney B. Vance's character, who's the pastor. Like, and I'm like, yo, why am I rooting for this woman to cheat on her husband? Like, what am I doing? Like, Denzel, their chemistry was phenomenal in the movie. Denzel got to play dramatic. He got to play funny in that movie. And that's not something that he normally like does. He always stays in the dramatic realm. So it was just so great to see a younger Denzel in that movie. And that's one of my favorite like holiday movies, feel-good movies. And then I just love Whitney Houston in it. She kills it. Courtney B. Vance is amazing in it. And it just has a beautiful black cast. That's just an amazing movie. If you haven't seen The Preacher's Wife in '96, you should be ashamed of yourself, because The Preacher's Wife is a classic. Here's some honorable mentions that are not on the sleeper list. Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3, which was him and John Travolta. It was about this guy taking over this train. If you get a chance to see it. Soldier Story, based on a play by Charles Fuller, a black man. It was a soldier's play as a play, but it's soldier's story as a movie. It was really good. Denzel, it's a star-studded cast. David Allen Greer, Robert Townsend. There's so many people in. It's about a military base, and something happens on a military base. I don't want to ruin it for you. Really great movie. He Got Game, another Spike Lee joint. Really great. Him, Ray Allen, Rosario Dawson. The list goes on. It's a movie about basketball and a father and a son. If you get a chance to see it, The Manchurian Candidate. A lot of people don't talk about this movie. Jeffrey Wright was in this movie. You got a lot of star-studded names in this movie. It gets slept on. It's one of those espionage spy movies, kind of like Enemy of the State. If you get a chance to see it. The Manchurian Candidate. Out of Time. It came out around the same time as Deja Vu, where he played a cop, and there's a murder that happens. And from what I remember, Eva Mendes is in it, Sanaa Lathan is in it, and it's like he's cheating on his woman, and you know, he's a cop, and there's things that happen where he don't want people to find out, and it's just like all of this messiness, right? Another one is The Pelican Brief. That's him and Julia Roberts. Great movie. Really, really great movie. He plays a lawyer in the movie, and The Pelican Brief is this file that everybody's trying to get a hold of. If you get a chance to see it, came out in the 90s. That was early in his career. Definitely see it. Another film I seen that's a sleeper, Virtuosity. This is him and Russell Crowe. This was like their first movie together, because we know him from him and Russell Crowe in American Gangster, but this was the first movie they did together. And they play off of each other so well. So well. If you get a chance to see it, a lot of technology came out in the 90s. It was like a coming of age kind of movie, right? With Denzel in it. Loved it. If you get a chance to see it, see it. But I just wanted to take time and give Denzel his flowers the right way, because he is a GOAT. He made me want to be an actor, because I woke up one day and I saw him on screen just talking about the craft and talking about God and talking about his gift. And it really inspired me so. The thing I love the most about him is that he's all about legacy. One of my favorite playwrights is August Wilson. He wrote a Pittsburgh cycle of plays. And Denzel just did one of his movies recently, which was Fences. And he put it out. And it was him and Viola Davis. And Viola Davis actually won an Oscar for it. And so Denzel, since August Wilson passed, he had been dedicated to doing the cycle of all of August Wilson's plays. So I'm just so excited about that, man. And I'm just like, I want to be in one of those films if I can be. He's already released another play from that cycle, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Chadwick Boseman was in it. It's on Netflix if y'all want to watch it. And Viola Davis is in that as well. He's releasing more stuff, and I think he's coming out with the piano lesson next. But Denzel, if you see this, man, thank you so much for your whole body of work, for inspiring millions, not just people who want to get into the business, but people who just love film, and for always staying true to your technique, always pushing the envelope with every character that you do. Thank you for always being great, always being professional, always holding up a standard of acting, and just always holding up a standard of being a black man who is in a space of entertainment. Thank you so much, Denzel. We give you your flowers. You are a king. Thank you so much for all the work you've done. And before I go, I just wanted to share that one of my friends, I was doing the play Fences at a time, and when I was in the production, one of my friends from church, she said, my mom went to go see the original show, and here's a playbill from the original show from Fences. This playbill is older than I am, you know what I'm saying? And the original show with James Earl Jones in it, and Courtney B. Vance was playing his son. I cherish this because I see what Denzel is doing with August Wilson's Cycle, and I'm just such a huge fan. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart, Denzel, for everything that you're doing with acting, and always not coming to play with nobody, and always killing it every single role you're in. I give you your flowers today. From me to you, thank you so much. This has been Fred Gives Flowers.